Welcome to Willow Glen in Motion. My name is Kevin C. Swanson, and I'll be your host. Over 1 million of the students that enter the 9th grade each fall fail to graduate with their peers 4 years later. There are about 7,000 students that drop out of school every day in America. We don't want our children to be part of that statistic. But what can we do? In this episode, we'll be taking a look at preparing for education in Willow Glen. We will look at early childhood education and what types of activities and experiences we should be exposing our pre-kindergarten children to. We will also talk with Pam Foley from the San Jose Unified School District to discuss what to look for in an elementary school and what Willow Glen schools have to offer. Esther Ludlow from Real Families Coaching will discuss the transition issues between elementary and high school. And Alex Hayes, Vice President from Putnam Investments, will discuss how best to pay for that college education. Let's get started by exploring early childhood education with Stacey Scott, owner of Treehouse in the Glen. We're here at Treehouse in the Glen with the owner Stacey Scott to talk about early childhood education. Stacey, welcome.
Thank you.
So, what experience do you have in this area?
Well, before I opened a toy store and art studio, I was a drama teacher for elementary schools. So I have about 7 years experience of teaching young children creative problem solving and dramatic expression.
I've heard that we're starting earlier and earlier to get our kids into a formal education and, mathematics and reading and writing. How do you feel about that?
Well, the kind of store we have is an open-ended toy store. And the purpose of that is we really believe that children learn more from just having open-ended play. So we're inspired by Waldorf education, and Waldorf education likes to have children play for the first 7 years. So it's a kind of education that really allows a child's imagination to really be expressed. And that's what we do here at Treehouse in the Glen, is we have open-ended toys. So there's not a script that goes with the toys, there's not a button that you push and the toy talks to you. Our toys actually are things that the child manipulates in order to express the child's creativity.
Tell me about some of the toys that your clients are typically looking for here.
We are a green certified toy store. And so they're either looking for something that's like building blocks or looking for something that is imaginative toy, like that will be expressing like a story. We have wooden animal figurines that you can use for a puppet show. Wooden trucks and things like that. But we also have a huge selection of art supplies because of our studio, and that's something for the people who do want for their preschooler to do a project. They like to go with the art supplies.
So, in today's society, we are constantly pushing for education and studying for, the testing and starting the kid
earlier and earlier.
Yeah. So you're going through that process. Is my child, if I spend more time with a creative play and the open-ended play and going through the process here with the toys that you have versus flashcards and learning words earlier, is it still as beneficial?
Well, it really depends on the child and the parent. The reason we're talking about, academics, learning your ABCs, learning to write, learning to read, learning mathematics, that's what we mean by academics. We're concerned with those being pushed early and earlier because children are no longer being allowed to be children. You know, that and also developmentally, the first 7 years developmentally, they don't really need to do a lot of that. It's great to get a foundation in that, and and especially if you're going to be in a conventional education system. So if they're going to go to public school and they're going to be expected at first grade that they already know that stuff, yeah, it's important that your children actually have that experience. But in no way should it replace a child discovering who they are through play. When children actually sit down and play house, they're mimicking the adults. They're learning so much about themselves and the world around them, and that's what's really important. In those first 7 years, they're learning the world around them by imitating the rhythm of every day. That's something that is great about like a Waldorf school, is it embraces the rhythm of life. You wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you eat your breakfast, then you take a nap, and then you wake up and you do some, so the rhythm of a child's life helps them to understand when they get older what a calendar is, and what their schedule is going to be. And it's kind of like our music classes that we held this morning. The children are learning rhythm and pattern, and the best way for them to learn that is to actually experience it. So what we actually do is we tap the rhythm on their body. So it's a mommy and me music together class, and so the mom will be actually tapping the child to the rhythm, and that's so that they actually experience it, not just hear it, because hearing it is one part of it, but then also experiencing the rhythm in their body helps to solidify it.
Your classes help actually teach the parent how to work with the children as well, correct?
Right, yes. Our Mommy and Me, Daddy and Nanny 2 classes, they are classes where they're a time to observe your children, and observe yourself as a parent. So, some of the parents who come in, for our watercolor class, say, for example, they feel like the children should behave in a certain way, that is to their ideals. But what we try to do is we try to really allow the parents to see that it's great for the child to express who they are, that they don't need to make a box, that they can color a circle if they want. And so as the teacher, we actually, and myself and the other teachers I have, we really try to let the parent know it's okay for the child to scribble on the page, because that's the expression of the child on that day. And they don't have to color inside the box. They can actually color outside the box, because there's something about the child that is being expressed there. So actually, with the Waldorf water painting colors, water paintings, over the years, you can actually see the expression of the child and what they have, how they've grown. And there's a way of actually reading the paintings that they actually paint to kind of see what it is they're going through internally.
Now, if people want to know more about your toy store here, some of the classes that you have, what's the best way for them to get that information? They
can go online to treehouseandtheglen.com, or they can always come in and try one of our classes. We have walk-ins for all of our classes, and they're welcome to call us on the phone as well.
And your address here on Lincoln Avenue?
1275 Lincoln Avenue.
And your phone number?
408-294-8699.
Which is challenging you with that right now. Stacey, thank you so much for taking time with us here at Willow Glen in Motion.
Thank you, Kevin.